Today, what we are going to be discussing is about Chapter 3 of the Total Quality Management. And the title of the chapter is Customer Focus. So in this chapter, we will see the importance of customers in an organization. And there's a saying, and according to Don Peppers and Martha Rogers, customers don't grow on trees. And without customers, you don't have a business. So there now. So we see that context alone, you see the importance of the customers in an industry-related business. Now, how do we satisfy customers? So to meet or exceed the customer expectations, organization must fully understand all products and lead attributes, or rather lead to satisfaction and loyalty of the intended customers. Now, how do you do that? So it's really hard to maintain and lead customers into embracing your product and patronizing it continuously. Now, how do the question is, how do we maintain it? And how do we achieve that? Meeting specification, reducing defects and errors, and definitely resolving complaints. And it's very much important. These three again. You meet the expectations and the specifications of your product, and then designing new products that will delight customers. So we see that in some existing products like the cell phones companies kept on improving themselves and then delighting the customers per se. I for one, I'm not a techie one, but then apparently when I got my Oppo as a product for my personal use and for these videos that I'm working on my channel, it gives me a lot of satisfaction. So this is my actually fourth Oppo product, and I'm loyal to them because I've already tasted how it is. I've tried it and I'm satisfied with it. Now, designing new products, it delights me, with the product that I'm using right now. Now, another one is responding rapidly to the changing consumer and market demand. So remember that the market is a dog eat dog arena, and it's a robust competition. It's a competition. It's a dog eats dog, in that arena. So therefore, you have to be abreast of the trending, because it's rapidly changing. So there, and then developing new ways of enhancing customer relationship. Again, it's very much important for you to be able to develop a very good interaction and relationship with your customers, because the customers is your life. Our business relies solely on the life of on our relationship, and it's better to develop relationship with them. So that is some of the areas that would command loyalty from customers, relationship. Okay. Now next is the customer focus. So we try to assess them in the context of the ISO 9000. So this is the qualifying and determining organization that talks about and assess the quality management of a particular product, service, and organization per se. Now, top management shall ensure that customer requirements are determined and are met with the aim of enhancing customer satisfaction. So that's the very essence. So our aim is for us to focus on customer and aiming for aiming for the enhancements of the customer satisfaction. Now, the standards require that the organization determine customer requirements, including delivery and post-delivery activities. So, meaning once you deliver the goods and there was concern about what was delivered, as a company, you try to address them. So that is the post-delivery activities. Defects, return, no? See, the return and exchange, concept is part of it. And then, the organization must establish procedures for communicating with customers about the product information and other inquiries for obtaining feedback, including complaints. So that's important. In today's world, in generation, it's very easy for you to come up with a design wherein you get feedbacks coming from your customers. The internet, technology is helping out, it's helping us out to achieve this. Information and other inquiries arena and so tool, for us to communicate directly to our customers. Now, the standards require that the organization monitor customer perception as to whether the organization has met customer requirements. Still, we have to do that, for us to determine that the customer is really satisfied with our services or products. So that's how we relate, the context of the subjects. Now, the key customer focus practices for performance excellence, focus practices for performance excellence. Now, first, how do we determine that? So first of all, we identify the most important customer groups and market. So once we have identified them, we consider competitors, and other potential customers that are coming in, and segment the customer based on their preferences, based on their intended likiness or whatsoever, to better meet the different needs and requirements of our particular customer. Now, another one is to understand both the near and longer term. So near and longer term customer needs and expectations. So because we try to anticipate what is coming, and what is there and what is coming. Now, it is important for us to hear the voice of the customer and employ systematic processes for listening and learning from customers even. And there are potential customers even that give us a lot of good intended feedback. And customers of competitors also will obtain actionable information about our products and services, and that would help that particular customer to switch in their decision to patronize our product or service. So that's an opportunity for an existing business. Now, another key customer focus practices achieving for performance excellence is that understand the linkages between the voice of the customer and design, production, and delivery processes, and the youth voice of the customer information to identify an innovative product offerings and customer expectation to expand and develop relationships and to identify and attract new customers and market. So again, integrating all these aspects of the focus practices for performance excellence would command a very good intended areas of expanding relationship with our customers and even developing new ones. Another one is create an organizational culture and support framework that allows customer to easily contact an organization to conduct business, and then receive a consistently positive customer experience by providing us feedback and obtaining assistance, receiving prompt resolution of their concerns and facilitate improvement. So these are the things that we'd like to increase our customers, because these areas of concerns and these areas of improvement, giving out assistance to our customer would warrant a very good performance rating for our customer feedback. Now, we also manage customer relationship that builds loyalty and enhance no satisfaction and engagement. Now, how do you do that? That would lead to the acquisition of new customers even. So again, our relationship with our customers would command a very good feedback coming from them. And once it is established, so therefore, there is a good, feedback will be coming from them that would relate to other customers even to entice them to join them and experience the same experience that they are having, especially the immediate families and friends. Now, how do we measure customer satisfaction? So definitely is by engaging them, since with the sincere engagement on how we, a lot of things that would command information about our service and product. We also try to address the dissatisfaction, and then compare the results relative to competitors. And it's relatable to our competitors. I would like to make some edge over them in terms of relationship. Now, we also try to assess the competitors and benchmark what is happening in their areas. So why that particular company is gaining a lot of popularity from its customers. So we try to benchmark that and try to see and assess and what's their secret perhaps, and then use that information to evaluate and improve our organizational processes. Again, it's an opportunity for everyone. Okay. Now, um, we'd like to no, I would like to share one quality profile of a company. So we call them the Park Place Lexus. Park Place Lexus, and it's a company. Yeah, so the client relationship management database that tracks all aspects of the PPL client. PPL is the Park Place Lexus interaction and provides the resulting information to members and employees. So therefore, all those external informations coming from the customers, they relate it to everyone involved in the production and the organization per se. Now, they also empower members to resolve client complaints on the spot, by allowing them to spend up to about giving them money, whatever cost to resolve a complaint, and coming up with a committee even for that purpose alone. So therefore, so these companies are very good, in addressing the concerns of its customers. Now, a focus on personal and organizational learning is also engaged that will motivate members, which then result in exceptional understanding of clients' needs and the ability to deliver and meeting those needs by the intended customers or the existing customers rather. Another one is for quality profiling company is the KNN management. Now, the vision of the KNN management is to become world famous by delighting one guest at a time. See? Delighting one guest at a time. So, for them to be able to focus mainly on that particular customer. Now, it builds and maintains a focus on guest delight, relying on innovation and technology to create product offerings that meet or exceed guest requirements. So that's their main focus. They kept on researching, they kept on improving it, and through innovation, and technology even. So integrating those two ideas and process would try to meet and delight the guest requirements. And all leaders carry a personal digital assistant, PDA we call it, that alerts them of guest comments and complaints and daily performance results. So they keep on evaluating and assessing themselves, the situation, the customers, satisfaction ratings. So these are being handed out by the KNN management. Now, the customer satisfaction is the result of delivering a product or service that meets the customer's requirement as it defines clearly in the book, and then the customer satisfaction drives profitability, so if you're satisfied, so more clients are coming in, so and the typical company gets about 65% of its business from existing customers. So in most cases, in my case, I'm part of 65% of Oppo, no, as a product. And it costs 5 times more to find a new customer than to keep an existing one happy. See the difference? So there. So that is the customer satisfaction definition. Now, customer engagement. So how do we define it? Customers' investment in or commitment to a brand and product offering. So there. No? So the characteristic of the customer engagement is that we adhere to the definition of customer retention and loyalty. So we discussed that earlier, no? And then customers' willingness to make an effort to do business with the organization is also part of the customer engagement. And customer willingness to actively advocate for the and recommend the brand and product offerings. So there, no? So there's already recommendations coming in. And that is customer, because they believe in your product and service. So the customer engagement is very much glaring, and positively being conveyed to others. Now, there is this one measure, company that measures the customer satisfaction. It is the ACSI, no, the American Customer Satisfaction Index. What are the measures that are this ACSI is doing, for them to be able to determine that that particular service and product qualifies, no, in terms of quality improvement. So number one is the customer satisfaction at a national level. There. And then this company, the American Customer Satisfaction Index, were introduced in 1994 by the University of Michigan and American Society for Quality. No? So there. And based on results based on interviews, at that time, telephone is heavily engaged in the interviews and probably in statistics. They conducted in a national sample of about 46,000 consumers, and then who recently bought, 46,000 consumers who recently bought or used the company's product or service. And then, you can see the result of it in their website. No? So, www.daxi.org. Yeah, so there. And one of their measures is for the customer to perceive quality, no, based on the perceived value, and that would result to the customer. That is the customer's perception and expectation. No, the expectation of the customer would be the perceived value and the perceived quality. Now, also the customer satisfaction, the ACSI also would try to determine the customer complaints and the customer loyalty based on that interview there, no? Now, we now identify, no, what is customer. So customers, and that's it, and here, when you say customer, it's synonymous with all of these definitions of a word. Consumers, no, consumer are those people who ultimately purchase and use a company's product. So they consume it, no, it's fulfilled, no, it's being consumed. That's consumers. When the actual and ultimately purchase and use a company's product. The internal customers, who are these? These are the recipients of another's output, which could be a product or a service or information even. So that is internal customers. Now, external customers, however, are those who fall between the organization and the consumer, but are not part of the organization. So there, no? Okay. Customer segmentation. So how do you segmentize? And that's it. What are you particularly segmenting, as a customer? Defining your demographics, defining your segment demographics of a market and customers. How do you segment it? So the customer segmentation will focus mainly on demographics, geography, volumes, vital few and useful many, and profit potentials. So these are customer segmentation. Now the net present value of the customer, the NPVC, as we call, it's the total profits, revenues associated with customers minus expenses needed to serve a customer and discounted over time. So this is the NPVC. NPVC is often used to segment customers by profit potentials. I repeat, NPVC is often used to segment customers by profit potentials. Now, the key product for quality dimensions are the following. Performance. No? So primarily is an operating characteristics. And then features. The bells and whistles. No? Reliability. Probability of operating for a specific time and conditions of use. And then conformance. The degree to which characteristic match standards. Durability. It is amount of use before deterioration or replacement. Serviceability, speed, courtesy, competence of repair. So that is, serviceability. And then aesthetics, look, feel, sound, taste, and smell. So that is aesthetic sense. Now, the example of quality dimensions is based on the PowerPoint that I have shared to you, or we will be sharing to you, is that the quality dimensions are being measured accordingly with these factors. And then the manufactured product, for example, is a guitar amplifier as a manufactured product. And then the service product, checking the account. So there, checking account rather, so service in a bank. So that is an example of quality dimension. Now, how do you measure quality for this industry, manufactured product and service product? Now, in the number one is performance. In a manufactured product, what you are trying to assess and test is, you're talking about the guitar amplifier here, and the other one, the service product, is the banking service for checking account. Now, number one is performance. Now, for guitar amplifier, what are we trying to assess here to make sure that it is being manufactured accordingly, based on standards? The signal to noise ratio and the power wattage, consumption. However, in the service of a product, in the banking service, the speed of online transactions. So we measure that performance. Next is the features. For the guitar amplifier, do they have SD cards? Do they the drum kits, is it okay? Do they have a complete drum kits? And then for the service product, banking, automatic bills paying, are they part of the services? The automatic bill paying rather. And then next quality dimension is the conformance. For the guitar, accurate tuner. For the checking account, accuracy. For the reliability, for the guitar amplifier, mean time to failure. So while in checking account, opening up a checking account is receiving statements on time every month. So that's measured. For reliability, now the durability for the guitar, not damaged with frequent handling and transportation. While for checking account, keeping pace with industry trends and product offerings. Now, the serviceability, ease of repair for the guitar, and for the bank is prompt resolution of errors. And then for the aesthetics, for the guitar amplifier, location, size of knobs and controls. There. And then for the checking account, the appearance of bank lobby. There, so there, from the outside looking in, so you see impressions. Okay. Another key dimensions of service quality is reliability. It is the ability to provide what was promised. And then the assurance is the knowledge and courtesy of employees and the ability to convey trust. Now, tangibles. No? So when you say tangibles of service quality, the physical facilities and appearance of personnel is important. Now, empathy is also included in the key dimensions of service. Empathy is the degree of caring and individual attention. Now, another dimension of service quality is the responsiveness, the willingness to help customers and provide prompt service. There. Example of the service, no, of the service is the car rental and efficient service. A car rental agency surveys customers in the following dimensions. So what are these? Number one is the cleanliness of the rental facility. Second is the courtesy behavior of the staff. The efficiency of a vehicle pickup and return. The cleanliness of the vehicle as a whole, and the professionalism of staff in explaining the contract and options. So that is important for you to be able to assess the service, total quality management in a car rental agency. Now, we may classify each of these according to the 5 service quality dimensions. No? So what are these? Cleanliness of the rental facility for tangibles, courtesy of staff for assurance, efficiency of vehicle for pickup, return for reliability, and cleanliness of vehicles for, again, tangibles, and professionalism of staff in explaining the contract and options for assurance. The Kano model of customer requirements are the following. No? So, dissatisfiers. These are the must-haves. Expected requirements that cause dissatisfaction if not present in a service. While satisfiers, it's the wants, expressed requirements, and exciters or delighters, never thought of, unexpected features. So that is Kano model of customer requirements. Now, the voice of customer is important. Customer requirements as expressed in the customer's own terms. And organization use a variety of methods or listening post to collect information, the proper ones, about customer needs and expectations, their existence and their importance, and the customer satisfaction with the company's performance on these measures being provided a while ago. Now, customer listening post. So what are these? These are tools like comment cards and formal surveys are to be engaged. There is a focus group for a particular industry. So when you're talking about drivers, it's drivers. Or car agencies are the focus group. The direct customer contact are also being required for you to be able to know the listening post. And then the field intelligence. So you deploy people to do that task. Complaints, is part of the customer listening post. You listen, you grasp, you try to assess the complaints. And then internet and social media monitoring is a must. Now, there's another example. Suppose that a banking team determined that the most important requirement for mortgage customers is timely closings. Through focus groups and other customer interviews, customers listed the following as key elements of timely closings. So, number one is expeditious processes. The expeditions are expeditious, fast processes. Reliability, consistent and accurate information, competitive rates, notification of industry changes, prior approvals, innovation, modern link between computers, buyer orientation, diversity of programs, mutual job understanding, flexibility, professionalism, timely and accurate status report. Now, the company's team would group these items into logical categories. Now, and provide a descriptive title for each category. So the result is an affinity program. An affinity program that indicates that the key customer requirements for timely closings are communications, effective service, and loan product. Now, how do we build a customer-focused organization? So these are the tools. So number one, making sincere commitment to customers. And then ensuring quality customer contact. And then selecting and developing customer contact employees. And then managing complaints and service recovery. So these are how to build customer-focused organization. Now, the moments of truth. Customer satisfaction or dissatisfaction takes place during moment of truth. So every interaction between a customer and organization, for example, in an industry of an airline company. So a lot of you have flown, if not all have flown, and have experience flying there. Number one is making reservation, and then purchasing tickets, checking baggage, boarding a flight, ordering a beverage, request a magazine, deplaning, and picks up baggage. So that's the moment of truth. Now we have a lot of measures that would claim that our industry, that our airline is the best amongst the best. But then apparently the moment of truth will now reveal what is really happening at the moment, during those times. So you as a flyer, you as a passenger, you as a customer of that airline would somehow be surprised with all these mishaps or with all this dissatisfaction coming along. So there are lots of fortuitous events are also part of it. But apparently you can counter all these challenges by minimizing the impact of dissatisfaction of your customer by coming up with a direct and honest approach about this kind of challenges, countering and even surpassing the expectation of your delighted customers for the moment of truth. Now, customer contact requirements. It is referred to the measurable performance levels or expectations that define the quality of customer contact with the organization. Now, technical. So when the technical definition of it is the response time, answering the telephone with 2 rings or shipping orders the same day. So that is the swift and fast response time. Behavioral requirements by using customer's name whenever possible. So there but then be careful about the privacy issues. Now, another example of customer contact requirements using the St. Luke Hospital of in America, the Kansas City St. Luke's Hospital. So first, they do the greet customers and patient rather. They greet patients by introducing themselves, and then addressing patient by last name unless otherwise told that you can address me on my first name, and then ask sincerely, how may I help you? So that very same word would convey empathy already. How may I help you? The knock request permission to enter the room, and then explain what you are going to do, what I'm going to do as the staff of the St. Luke's. So knock first, and then request permission to enter. And then complete initial assessment on all patients within 8 hours. So therefore, longer hours should be avoided in the assessment. Now, acknowledge all patients or guest requests and be accountable for follow-ups. You don't stop at only one visit. Keep on constant visits. And then address all complaints within 24 hours or less if possible. Introduce any replacement caregiver. on a 24-hour basis, on especially on delicate matters, on the ICU patients. Promote family-centered care. Listen thoughtfully to all patients and provide timely communication to the appropriate person for actions. And then respect and acknowledge diversity, culture, values of patients, their family, their visitors, and co-workers. So there, no discrimination should not be part of it. And it's St. Luke is doing that. They maintain, St. Luke Hospital of Kansas City maintain confidentiality of all informations that are gathered now from the patients. And then know or have access to legal and regulatory requirements and standards of care related to specific responsibilities. And then they thank the customer, appreciative, thanking for choosing St. Luke Hospital. So that is how a very good example of customer contact requirements and by the St. Luke Hospital of Kansas City, USA. Now, service recovery and complaint management. Now, so what are these? Now, what concept is this? So the average company never hears from 96% of its unhappy customers based on research. And dissatisfied individual and business customers tend not to complain even. Waste of time, But then you don't you don't do that to people, so yeah, they pay you, and they have expectation in your service, and you don't want them to be dissatisfied. And for every complaint received, the company has 26 more customers with problems, and 6 of whom have problems that are really serious, so there, of the customers who make a complaint, more than half will again do business with your organization if their complaint, or rather, if they're happy, more than half will again do business with that or organization if their complaint is resolved. See, it's a positive note, so you will be gaining, and retain good customers. Now, if the customer feel that the complaint was resolved quickly, it will rebound to higher numbers, even 95%. Now, customer who remain unsatisfied after complaining result in substantial amounts of negative word of mouth. Oh my God! So you will be given a low rating, and that would be tantamount to losing consumers or customers. Now, how do you resolve complaint resolution? So number one is acknowledge that the customer has a problem, and then make apology. Say sorry. That you're sorry about their problem. That what causes is the problem. Assess how did that problem occur, even, and make proper recommendation accordingly. Now, express empathy, for the inconvenience that the customer encountered, and it's important, that you feel also what they feel, and the willingness to accept the complaint, and thank you, acknowledge them for letting you know of their concerns. And then another resolution for a complaint is describe a corrective action you can recommend concisely and clearly. Just tell, here's what we are going to do about it. So things like that, and you will appease them. And then by doing that, you feel empathy to your patient or customer rather. And then appeal to the customer for continued loyalty, and reassure them that, and then appreciate them that you are giving, you have given another chance despite the complaints. So assure them that it will not happen again, and things will be better the next time. Now, how do we manage the customer relationship? So, number one, the customer-supplier partnership. It's important that the customer-supplier relationship will be, interlinked and bonded, heavily, strongly. Long-term relationship characterized by teamwork and mutual confidence. So, trust element is there. So, for you to be able to have a very good customer-supplier partnership, is the trust should be developed. Now, customer-focused technology is also has to have and a must-have. No, so it's a software which typically includes market segmentation and analysis, customer service and relationship building, effective complaint resolution should also be integrated in the program, and the cross-selling goods and services under processing, and the field service, which will have to be included in the customer relationship management software. It's a big investment, but eventually to the advantage of the organization. Now, how do you measure customer satisfaction and engagement? So, number one is discover customer perceptions of how well the organization is doing in meeting customer needs, and comparing performance relative to the others, no, competitors. Now, identify causes of dissatisfaction and failed expectations, as well as drivers of delight, to understand the reason why customers are loyal or not loyal to the company. Okay, so you have to identify the cause, and then identify the internal work processes that drive satisfaction and loyalty, and discover areas for improvement in the design and the delivery of products and services, as well as for training and coaching employees there. No? So that's a part of the measures. Now, track trends to determine whether change or changes actually result in improvements. So this feedback must not come into the waste. No, it has to be part of the changes, be part of the design for improvements. So there. Now, designing one of the areas that you would like to get a very good information is for you to come up with the satisfaction surveys. No, so how do you design a satisfaction survey? So number one is for you to identify the purpose. Now, who will make decisions using the survey results should be articulated in the request or objective. Now, and then identify the intended customers specifically, and then determine who should conduct the survey. Could be the internal, or could be a third party, and whatever. No, it's your discretion. Now, select the appropriate survey instruments. It could be written, it could be by phone, could be face-to-face, or it could be social media. Now, design question and responses scales to achieve actionable results. So what are these actionable results that we're referring to? So the responses are tied directly to key business processes, so that what needs to be improved is clear, and information can be translated into cost revenue implications to support the setting of improvement priorities. Okay, you may use the Likert scale. No? So the Likert scale, which used to for customer satisfaction measurement. So measuring it from the rate of 1 to 5, and 5 would be the highest, perhaps. No, very good, or things like that. So Likert scale already. Okay. Now, we try to assess why customer satisfaction efforts fail. So, number one is the poor measurement scheme. So poor measurement schemes. No? So, failure to identify appropriate quality dimensions even. And then, failure to weigh dimensions appropriately. And then, lack of comparison with leading competitors, the external factors. And then, the failure to measure potential and former customers. So there. And confusing loyalty and satisfaction as a definition. Now, another measuring customer loyalty are the overall satisfaction, the likelihood of a first-time purchaser or to repurchase, and then the likelihood to recommend your product or service, and then the likelihood to continue purchasing the same products or services that you are offering, and the likelihood to purchase different products or services, and the likelihood to increase frequency of purchasing, and the likelihood to switch to a different provider. So that is the measure on how you the customer loyalty. Now, the Net Promoter Scores, which we have discussed a while ago, is developed by and is registered trademark of Fred Reichheld, Bain and Company, and Satmetrics. So, according to them, what is the likelihood that you would recommend us, evaluated on the scale from 0 to 10? Now, promoters, no, scores of 9 or 10 are usually associated with loyalty customers who will typically be repeat customers, and we classify them as promoters. Passives, who are passive? So that would score of 7 or 8 are associated with customers who are satisfied but may switch to competitors. Now, detractors, uh, scores of 6 or below, represents unhappy customers who may spread negative comments. Now, so the Net Promoter Score, which is NPS, is the percentage of promoters minus the percentage of detractors. Now, what is customer perceived value? CPV measures how customers assess benefits, such as product performance, ease of use, or time savings against costs such as purchase price, installation cost or time, and so on and so forth in making purchase decisions. So that is the customer perceived value. Now, of all these measures or information that I've given you based on the customer focus satisfaction and the ratings and the assessment of chapter 3, I hope that you understood and got some ideas regarding the chapter. So I would like to thank you for listening, and try to assess what you have studied and what I have discussed in this chapter discussion for Total Quality Management, chapter 3, titled Customer Focus. Okay, good day and thank you very much.